Hey, you're listening to KXSU 102.1 FM. My name's Anna, and I'm a reporter, and I'm here with the Flavr Blue after they just played the SU 125-year anniversary. Can you guys introduce yourself?
What's up? I'm Parker.
Hi, I'm Hollis.
I'm sorry, I'm eating a banana. This is Lace Cadence.
Okay, so how was the performance just now?
We had a fun time. It's definitely on the earlier side of the day for shows. We're usually going on more around 12 midnight instead of 12 noon, but we're an adaptable band, and when we're invited to play somewhere, we'll show up. And I did mean to say this on stage, but for the record, like, it's always been a dream of mine that a band that I'm in gets invited to play at Quadstock, so I feel like with this performance, we're one step closer to our dream.
That's a good goal. But each of you has been dabbling in the music scene way before the birth of the Flavr Blue in 2011. But how did the Flavr Blue come to be, and how did each of you integrate your personal musical experiences to the group?
That's like a planets align type of scenario for us. We all had collaborated a little bit on like individual songs and played shows together and just would chop it up and see each other out and about, and just had like a mutual respect and interest in each other's musicality. And then randomly it sparked one session. We just kind of like threw a song together at the end of a project that Isaac and I had started. It was the last song on our project and ended up being the first song on the Flavr Blue project. So we kind of scrapped where we were at. We made the song and we were all like, whoa. So it was cool. Yeah, it was kind of like very serendipitous. It was a great answer, huh?
One notable trait of your music is the key facet of collaboration with other artists, from Jarrell Perry to YMTK. What is the most fulfilling part of a collaboration? And then what are some artists that you hope to work with in the future?
I think the most fulfilling part of a collaboration is just having the freedom to like have somebody else add their seasoning to what you would do normally. It's cool to like get other people's energy and creativity on a formula that we already know works for us. So it was definitely very easy for us to work with Murphy. I've known him for 15 years, so we just went to his house and made the song in an hour, and now it's one of our biggest songs. So it's cool how that type of thing works too. Hollis, you got any people you want to work with that you've thought about?
I don't know. I definitely have. Well, I have favorite artists whose albums like have really been inspiring to me, like over the last couple of years, like The Internet and Anderson .Paak's album has been in really regular rotation for me, and more recently, like the new Blood Orange album is really great. So I just, Tame Impala. Oh yeah, Isaac lost his mind he cried at the Bumbershoot performance, and it's really amazing. So yeah, I mean, the nice thing about collaboration is it's all about like meeting people that you really like as humans, and then like coming together on a musical tip. So it's like including Sweater Beats, the guy that we've done our two newest songs with. Like, it's just awesome to be able to work with people in the studio and be like, oh, you're such a great person. So that's like such a privilege to be able to just meet new people through music.
Speaking of Bumbershoot, how was that whole experience playing it? Just in general, I guess.
This is funny how this is working. That I think I could speak for the whole band and say that was one of our best shows. And we've done a lot of shows, but I think it's because we came off tour with Macklemore, so we were very seasoned, the most seasoned we've been, and we had a month to prepare for it after we got back, so it was just like by far the most prepared we've been for a show. And then, of course, growing up in Seattle and being a part of that scene your whole life, it's very like pinch yourself type of moment to be playing right before Billy Idol on a stage at Bumbershoot. So that was very, very fulfilling for us.
And then speaking of Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, can you share some highlights and some of the difficulties of going on tour of such a like massive tour, I guess?
Oh man, I'll take this one. Some of the looking kind of like Macklemore has been really hard for me in life. I get, like walking outside the venue. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. But look out for me. I'm opening. It was a crazy experience, like scaling what we've been doing up for like stadium stages. We always kind of like dreamed of it like that in some type of way. Like me and Isaac always had this thing in the studio where we're like, yo, dude, in years we're gonna be doing this on the biggest stage with like we're gonna crowd surf to the sound booth. And like we actually almost had some moments like that. I got my first crowd surf in. It was amazing. Big smile on my face. It was really fun. And we started performing with these in-ears. We choreographed songs. We used wireless mics. We were all over the place, tons of energy. And like that level of performance and that type of dynamic energy was like a new challenge for us, and like really thrilling to actually be like, wow, we can do this and kind of like hold our own and pull it off. Also total, like a slew of technical difficulties and like little things breaking here and there, and like everything you can imagine might go on. And honestly, that being said, like the Macklemore team and their whole squad, like most of the people are from Seattle, and then their production crew, they've been touring for a year straight. They're all super tight with each other, and they really like brought us into the fold and looked out for us in a way that like if we got thrown on a tour with a copy or someone else, and we're trying to like work with someone else's crew where there's no like relationships that bridge the gap, that it probably would have been a lot rougher for us. So like we're so grateful for that experience, and it really did like change us and take us to a new level as performers.
Yeah, I bet. So we're here celebrating the 125th year of SU. So this can be more towards Hollis, but how has attending SU affected how you make your music and how you hope project it onto the community?
Thank you. So yeah, I came to Seattle to attend Seattle University in 2006, and I had never really visited Seattle before, and I didn't really know a lot about it, but I knew that it had a really rich like history of culture, like whether that was music or literature or activism even. And so I really believe that like, being here at Seattle University is what enabled me just by sheer proximity alone. Like the fact that, I went to my first show 3 days after school started at Numos, and now that's a venue that I've been able to play like, almost a dozen times at this point. And I think if I hadn't gone to a school that was just like right on the edge of like the throbbing cultural heart of the city, then I don't even know if I would have really been able to push myself and like have aspirations to being a working musician or a working artist in that way. So, I also think that like I think a lot of the reason, because I'm not religious at all, but like I was really intrigued by what a Jesuit education could provide for me, because to me it had an intentionality and a thoughtfulness around social justice and human rights that and just kind of a more reflective approach to understanding the history of like how the Catholic Church has impacted like and has both like fueled and fought against oppression. And so those were kind of questions on my mind. And going, especially like being part of the Global African Studies program and taking classes with Professor Taiwo and Professor Adejumobi, like they let me just write papers on like Fela Kuti and Celia Cruz, and like let me just kind of understand and start to study music as like an academic pursuit. So they were always like really open, that program in particular, and also the history program was really open about me wanting to learn more about music as like a study and not just and I think it kind of deepened my desire to want to be a musician and to contribute back. So
awesome. I definitely agree. This is going to be kind of a two-part question now, but can you tell us what the music scene at SU was like when you were undergrad? And then can you tell us your thoughts on the Seattle music scene now and like what it's been like to sort of manage, produce, and promote your own music as an independent musician today in 2016?
Thanks. So I think when I came here to Seattle U at the beginning of 2005, like I was a huge hip hop head and I like loved independent rap, and I had never really found a community for it. I was just like kind of me listening to music in my bedroom and not really knowing what was going on. So it was really exciting for me to get here at the time because I felt like, the scene was just kind of bubbling, and I'd go to shows and see like Dime Def perform and D Black perform and Macklemore perform and Blue Scholars perform, and like even seeing Blue Scholars perform at Quadstock in 2006 was like a huge like kind of catalyzing moment for me to want to rap for the first time. So it was such an exciting time in Seattle hip hop, and I think it's funny that the three of us are here now because like we were all kind of involved in our own ways. And I heard Isaac's band and saw his music video and was like, oh my gosh, this is the gold standard of like of Seattle hip hop, and like we're really doing it. And I just like had this like such excitement and like intimidation, but also like really like was really inspired by the scene. And then now I just feel really grateful that like looking back on it, like basically 11 years later, that I feel like I was really embraced by it, I was challenged by it, and that I feel like I'm a part of it like thoroughly, and it's a scene that I'll always ride for. So we've done a lot of growth like as a community, and some of that has been, you know, I mean, obviously like globally reaching, but also I think that it's really exciting to see the new young people coming out with like really different approaches to rap in the way that it really wasn't, you know, just it's constantly evolving. And I think more than anything, it's always been experimental. So.
Definitely. And then this is going to be the last question, but what can we expect from the Flavr Blue for the rest of 2016 and into 2017?
Oh, we've been. I feel like we're. I feel like a lot of music these days is like made quickly and put out quickly, and we've never been about that. We're trying to like take our time and really put effort and thought into the music. So now we took a little break after tour just to revamp, recharge, and now it's time to definitely get back in the studio and make our next full-length album, which is, I don't think we've done a full-length in a while. Not since our first album. We've done 2 EPs since then, but this is a big deal to us to try to like really put together a full-length and be able to tour and do the next run off the next album. So it's an important time for the Flavors. Yes.
Sounds super exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, you just heard from the Flavr Blue on KXSU 102.1 FM, Seattle University student-run radio station.